They may play Legends of Tomorrow, but I consider them Legends of Today. Let's welcome our resident comic expert, Joshua Yale, and the cast of the CW's Legends of Tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How's your con going so far?
Super.
Well,
for this guy.
appropriate.
Yeah, so last season, big cliffhanger, you broke time, dinosaurs everywhere.
Yes.
How's the team going to fix that?
Well, yeah, it's fun to go out with a bang, but you do wind up spending a couple months like wondering what exactly we've done to ourselves, because the show was not broken. But you know, that's sort of the fun of it on Legends, is that you know, you paint yourself into a corner and then figure out a harebrained way to get out of it. Yeah.
And we kind of spend the rest of the season, or season 3, figuring that out, fixing our. To call it a mistake is a little bit too harsh, I think, because we were discussing in an earlier interview. Sarah kind of had to make the decision she did. Otherwise, we all would have been, you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Goners, and so would the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I would consider Dinosaurs an improvement.
Haven't you seen Jurassic Park?
Well, yeah. Dinosaurs are still pretty cool.
This is Jurassic World, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally, I think the dinosaurs had Vikings or Nazis riding on their backs.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
I think we ran out of
visual
visual effects money.
So this season is going to see a character that's just like Isis from the comics being introduced to the show. What can you tell us about her?
I mean, the most interesting thing about the character is that she's from the future, and you know, our Legends sort of, you know, they've got the swagger coming off of last season, and the preceding season, where they've managed to save the world not once but twice. And the fun of having somebody from the future is that she's able to come in and sort of burst their bubble and say, like, guess what? The future I'm from totally stinks, guys. Why don't you do something about it? And it's sort of the question of season 3 is like, sometimes history is messed up to begin with, and do these guys have an obligation not just to fix it, but perhaps to improve upon it, get better?
Does her coming in challenge your characters?
I think it will, yeah. I don't know, I haven't read that script.
As far as I know, yes. I think she'll challenge kind of all of us. She's, I would imagine, supposed to throw a wrench in kind of...
Yeah.
I just like that she's a hacktivist. Like, I feel like those people are so cool.
Yeah.
And so for Brandon, for Ray, he had some bad things happen this past season. He also has a lot of good things. He got to be a knight, got to meet George Lucas. Are those positive experiences going to have a positive impact on him going into the next season?
Yeah, I think all that stuff has a cumulative effect. I think Ray does his best to learn from his mistakes and move forward. So, yeah, and I think that he's going to get back to his inventing blood. Is going to become a more active role in the team, and that brings back a little bit more of the energy of Ray Palmer from Arrow, and that creativity and enthusiasm for you know, bettering the world in that way.
I'm into any plans to upgrade the armor at all?
Not visually that you'll see, but every year the suit gets tweaked a little bit more and more for my comfort.
Good.
Oh,
Which
nice.
is
I was in there for the first time 2 days ago, and already a little bit of I have a great the Atom Tech team working away and making it so I'm not complaining all the time.
Okay. What's more comfortable, the Superman costume or the Ray costume?
They're actually fairly similar in many ways.
Really?
I guess, yeah. The differences would be one has a cape and one has a helmet, so the cape pulls back, and the cape, the helmet is very claustrophobic-ish, isolating.
Yeah.
I'm not claustrophobic, thankfully, but you do feel kind of isolated with the helmet on.
All right.
But they're both cool.
Yeah. Caity, how would you say Sarah did as team leader in season 2?
I think kind of being thrust into the position and not necessarily wanting that or being prepared for that she did really well. Up until the point where, like, you know, made the decision to destroy all of time. But other than that, I thought she did really great. And I think that now it's becoming harder to, as she tries to become more capable, more responsible, do the right thing, it is not in line with the Legends way. So it's very much like she's herding cats. And so we'll see. But she's still a legend herself.
Yeah.
Now, you guys just started production on season 3 this week. Is that right?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And you have to jet down here, say hi to the fans at Comic-Con.
That's right.
Is that disruptive?
No,
Pretty
it's
cool.
a welcome.
Yeah.
Great.
Welcome icebreaker.
And
Okay.
we got really lucky. Like we got to ride on a jet, so it was like a lot of our first time students were just like.
We had a short work day yesterday to get down here, so that was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Your
short-
Fridays
short work
usually
day,
can go
yeah.
into 3,
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So.
We call them Fraturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was just a Friday. Friday at work.
Yep.
Nice. And you revealed the title of the first episode of season 3,
Yes.
a Rubicon,
Yes.
right? It sounds familiar. That sounds like a phrase that I've heard before.
Yeah. Well, it's we're going back to ancient Rome, and Caesar crossing the Rubicon. In a way, it's a metaphor for our team. Crossing a precipice that you can't go back from. So.
We wanted to go to Aruba,
Aruba.
at the end of last season.
Yes.
But it was winter, and it's hard to have Aruba, Canada in winter. But now you could have Aruba, Canada, and it's like.
I think we should go to a convention in Aruba.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Rubicon.
You guys had a good day at the beach, though.
Yeah, Franz and I actually ran in and jumped into the ocean.
You did?
When we finished rap, we were like in our costume. They were like, no! Like, YOLO! It was cold.
Well, speaking of Caesar, are there other historical figures you would
Yeah.
like to encounter? I guess both from an actor's perspective, because it'd be fun, and from a writer's perspective, because you think it'd be interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
I feel like Sarah would be like, hey, girl. And try to like learn some of her.
Yeah.
She's got like a whole other side of power that I think.
Nice.
Other inventors like
Yeah.
Ben Franklin and
Sure.
the kind of cool.
Nikolai Tesla would be good
Yeah,
for you.
Tesla, of
You
course.
get- yeah.
David Bowie
Rest
play
in,
it.
rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the villains, like the antagonism of season 3, aside from the dinosaurs, what can we expect? I know
Unfortunately.
you're going to unveil it later, but
Yeah.
can you tease anything to like what's going to be like the tone of the season?
Well,
whatever
come on, Phil.
I mean,
they bring.
to me, the great thing about our show is that we can draw from all the other shows and sort of, pick the juiciest villains, and so that's sort of what we're doing. We're going to look into the rest of the DC Arrow Flashverse, and we're going to pick people, who have personal significance for our characters, it's going to be not just one villain. I think last year it was great having our sort of our triumvirate of baddies, and this year we're going to add to that notion, and we're going to have people from all throughout history, all throughout the DC universe, and people who aren't even human as our.
Submit your guesses.
Okay, I feel sufficiently teased.
Yeah.
Season 2, fans really fell in love with the show as it hit its stride. What do you do in season 3 to keep that momentum going?
Keep the zaniness going.
It's true. I mean, last year was so much fun. To make the show and to watch it, and we could have kept doing the same thing, but I guess that's built into our DNA that we have to blow up our world and try to figure out how to rebuild it, and hopefully we'll rebuild it better the same way we did last year.
I like that we become like a comedy. Mm-hmm. Like I read these scripts and I'm just like laughing out loud reading them because it's so they're so clever, and it's so silly, it's so fun. And it just works somehow for some reason. And
I mean, I think it happens just like it's like art, whatever, imitating life. It's just hanging out with you guys. That's how you interact.
We're all silly people.
Right. You're just funny, zany, irreverent, like a mixed match bunch of friends, and that's so like it's like we couldn't have you taking yourselves seriously. It's just like it makes sense. It's who you are.
we are not to be taken seriously.
Legends of Tomorrow. Don't take us too seriously. Legends of Tomorrow returns to the CW on October 10th. Correct? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
That's what Wikipedia told me. Guys, thank you so much for coming by the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Much more to come on IGN Live from Comic-Con. Coming up next.